This is a great way to build wealth. And the beauty of it is you don't have to be born with awesome genetics. You don't have to dive into something that you really, just aren't that interested in. You don't have to chance it. You could do this all through a normal, regular job.
Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast, where Keith and Doug give no-nonsense advice to level up your life. So buckle up and listen closely to Up Your Average.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast. I've got Caleb with me today.
How's it going?
He is on the road. We don't know exactly where it is, but he's heading out to see his daughter who lives in a warmer climate. And so great financial plan for all of you. If you want to think through this, follow Keith's example. Have a kid move to a warm climate. That way you can go visit them when it's like 11 degrees in Indiana. So there you go. Financial planning tip for you. It is tax time, and I have sitting with me someone who actually studied tax stuff. And Caleb, you did an internship last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Both.
Both.
Last year was part-time, but yeah, 2 years ago I was in the grind of busy season at this point.
And that's what a CPA calls this time, busy time, busy season. Yeah. And so how many tax returns do you think you have gone through? Or how many would you go through in a busy season?
That's a great question. We would do about 55, 60-hour weeks. 55 was the threshold for an intern.
Okay.
But I pushed it because I was hourly. So I got an extra couple hours in.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the internship, when I was just first learning, it take me, I think my first return I did took me 12 to 15 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
And that if I were to do that same return 2 months in or so, it probably would have taken me 2 or 3.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I got in the rhythm of it. And then at least the first year, once I got a hang of everything, we switched the types of returns we were doing.
Okay. So did you switch to more complex or
yeah.
something? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's great tools out there that are available for less complex tax situations, but yeah, there you have it. Okay. So it would take you a couple hours per return.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
And then you have the next person that reviews my work, and then one more person to sign off and send it. So it's a process.
Yeah. So there could be 3-4 hours in a return.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you, if you've hired a CPA this year, or if you need a recommendation, give us a call. We're happy to give you a couple of recommendations. But if you've hired somebody this year, you now know why you pay the fees that you do, because 3-4 hours of work, double checking things, going through things. And then my favorite reason to hire an accountant is if you were to get audited and you need help, they're going to be there to help you through that time. Those times can typically be a little more emotional. And it doesn't have to be, but they just are.
Yeah.
And so it's helpful to have a wingman or a wing person there with you, helping you on your taxes. And speaking of, while you're waiting on all of your 1099s to come in, I would encourage our listeners to think, well, maybe I'll wait until March. 1099Rs tend to go out pretty quick. The retirement stuff tends to go out pretty quick. It's the non-retirement type accounts where it seems like later and later every year they're pushing towards the end of February. I know we clear our stuff through Fidelity, and it just takes a little while, the non-retirement stuff. So, yeah. Any other pieces of advice for people who are getting ready to turn in their tax stuff?
I don't think so. I think it was last year. I just took my tax class and maybe advanced tax class. So we were doing personal returns in class, and even with me doing my own taxes through TurboTax, I had forgot like a pretty big deduction that if I were doing it myself without any help, I would have been pretty upset if I if I didn't get it.
And so you're doing it through TurboTax,
Yeah.
but you would have missed it anyway, even though as good as that software is.
I think they caught it,
Okay.
but yeah, I had to spend a little bit more money to upgrade the software, and so that's
Gotcha.
how what I thought was going to be a free or like $40 or $50 turned into like $130.
Okay. That's not bad.
No.
Yeah, that's not bad. Well, anyway, if you do need a recommendation or you have a question for us, give us a call and we'll have Caleb talk with you. The office has a friend named Bob, and Bob has just taught us so much about life and business over the years. I wanted to share a few thoughts, not tax related, but more growing wealth, building wealth related. And I'll never forget having this conversation with Bob. He told me that there are 5 ways, and only 5 ways, to build big wealth. And the type of wealth that Bob was talking about was unusual wealth. The type of wealth where you could say, I don't want to work anymore, where you're financially independent. And these 5 ways, he said, you don't have to do any of these. He said, matter of fact, by choosing not to do these, you might enjoy a more balanced life, a healthier life, one where you could have some friends, maybe even have some hobbies and go on vacations. But he said there are 5 ways to build big wealth. And I thought I'd share these with you. So thank you, Bob, for spurring this conversation. He says, number 1, do something that no one else can do. Okay, so do something that no one else can do. That's the first thing. So that means you're going to have to be extremely gifted out of the womb at something. I mean, you might be a hard worker and tailoring your craft and all that stuff, but to be able to do something that no one else can do, anybody come to mind?
I mean, just athletes in general they get $40, $50 million contracts, and that's per year.
Yeah. So if you're an NBA player,
yeah, even if I work 20 hours a week or more, like trying to practice basketball, I'm not going to ever get to that level.
Yeah. So to be able to do something that no one else could do, like an NBA player, I looked it up, and Caleb, you're not far off. So the average salary, NBA player, average salary, yeah, there's guys getting those $50 million contracts, but here's the average. 11.9.
Dang.
That's not bad.
That's pretty good. Pretty good living.
Yeah, 11.9 mil a year. The minimum salary in the league. Do you know what it is?
No, I would guess like $1 million.
Yeah, it's $1 million. $1 million. That's the minimum. And the next question I had to ask about the NBA players specifically is the average career is just under 5 years, which I thought it'd be about 3. Maybe that's the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think about injuries and just the performance-oriented world is so competitive and brutal.
Yeah.
Someone's always there gunning for your job. But to do something that no one else can do, like an NBA player, or let's make it more realistic. How about a brain surgeon?
Yeah.
Is that more realistic? I don't think so. So the average brain surgeon, if you're going to be building wealth, making wealth, the average brain surgeon makes $700,000 a year, which is about $14,000 a week.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, doing pretty good for themselves.
And so, okay, these are things that like nobody else can do. You are a specialist amongst specialists. And I don't know. Have you ever met a brain surgeon?
I might have like briefly when Kristen was going through everything, but
Right on.
I don't know if I actually talked to him. I might have just been in the room with him.
Yeah, it's
But-
going to be hard to get some hang time with the brain surgeon.
Yeah.
He is in demand. So it's just it's going to be really tough. Or a rocket scientist. I mean, to get time with a rocket scientist, she's not going to have time to talk with us.
Yeah.
She's doing rocket science type stuff, whatever that is. Okay, so that's number one. Do something that no one else can do. Number two, and I really like this one. Number two, do something that no one else wants to do. All right. And so, like, if you had to think of something that no one else wants to do, what comes to mind?
I think of like plumbing and sanitary, just anything of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything messy,
Yeah.
anything with like big potential problems. Yeah. Yeah.
Risky stuff.
Risky stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's good. And so, yeah, doing something that nobody else wants to do is going to create a demand on your time.
Yeah.
People are going to value what you can do because
Accountants.
Man, accountants have a sense of humor. Yeah, nobody wants to do taxes. That's actually a really funny point. And so, like, it's interesting. The first profession you said was a plumber, right? And like when I go to a Pacers game, I notice there's like this heating and cooling brothers that are advertising constantly. And I'm thinking, man, here are these guys, heating and cooling dudes. They must be doing really well, or they have a really large marketing budget. Maybe both.
Yeah.
But they're doing stuff that nobody else really wants to do. They've become experts in it. They've created systems where they're reliable. And that is the number 2 way to build big wealth. I like to think about the Mike Rowe dirty jobs. I'm a big Mike Rowe fan, and the dirty jobs type guys. Those are the ones who have the potential to build big wealth. Number 3, and this one you've probably seen. I've seen, and it's find a business that's repeatable. And so when I think about a repeatable business, it's something where your services are constantly going to be needed. And this could be like someone in the restorations business. And so there's always unfortunate events happening. There's a fire, or there's a need to protect from a potential fire. There's a flood, there's a windstorm, that type of restorations business. Or if you owned a scalable like muffler shop that also did brakes, that also did oil changes, and you could have one location, turn it into 2. Next thing you know, you have 10, and you have buildings. And so you're able to build up this empire of scalable, repeatable businesses, the type that can survive recessions.
Yeah.
Because people are going to need those services. Can you think of any other businesses like that?
Just like trades as well. I was thinking like plumbing again, or like HVAC, or electricians. And then you said like scalability. Probably, I don't know how well like lawn care does in a recession, but that's
Absolutely.
you can scale that pretty well.
Lawn care. That's another one. Like when I was a kid, there were really no lawn care businesses.
Yeah.
But now they are everywhere. And I'm sure the competition's really high. But all of these types of businesses where they are repeatable type businesses, these are capital intensive businesses, because you're buying buildings, or you're buying equipment, you're buying heavy machinery. you're buying tools. And so when we say 5 ways to make big wealth, you're going to be reinvesting. You're going to be pouring your capital into these businesses. And so it's not like they are easy to get into. I think that most difficult one to get into would be farming. I don't even know how a person would get into farming, but just getting into something that could be duplicated is a great business to consider looking at. Okay, this is probably the most funny one of the 5 ways to build big wealth, but this is chance. You can just leave it to chance. And my friend Bob, this is his least favorite. He does not like this one.
Yeah.
But I think it's the most humorous. And so you can inherit it. There's a saying, make money the old-fashioned way, inherit it. You can marry in, chance. You can gamble. I'm really interested in this one right now. Yeah. I'm on a quest to learn about gambling. I don't care for gambling at all.
Just like all sorts of it, or
sports books.
Okay.
Yeah, and the reason I'm on a quest to learn is you've probably heard me rant about this if you've listened to this podcast. And Keith is so knowledgeable. I love when Keith breaks down the math of gambling.
Yeah.
But who's the guy who wrote The Blind Side? Michael Lewis. Moneyball. He's got The Big Short. He's got this podcast out there where he is taking a deep dive into sports gambling. And he gave his 17-year-old kid, like $5,000 to teach him a lesson. And it's fantastic. But I'm really interested in exploring this right now because I think it's got a lot of cultural ramifications.
Yeah.
For all types of people.
And even you turn on TV, you watch any sporting event, any live event, probably a quarter or half of the commercials are going to be a sports book of some sort.
Yeah, especially at the beginning of the event.
Yeah.
Like even last night's hockey game, I noticed on the ice there was a sports book betting company promoting the game. And so, gambling, that's chance, leaving it to chance. And again, this is not a very desirable way to go for it. There's a lot of risk, a lot of heartache. The chance route is just not a great route. So we come to the last one. We've got do something that no one else can do something that no one else wants to do, find a business that's repeatable, leave it to chance, or this is Bob's favorite. This is the one that takes the longest. And it's basically this: to live under your means and invest wisely. And so to invest wisely means that you have to have some money to invest, which means that you would have had to have lived underneath your means and saved some money. And so there's that saving component that's the start. But beyond that is probably one of the best things about life, and it's to be a lifelong learner. And so to learn yourself, to teach yourself, to talk with people in the investment world who can help you, who can guide you. And by doing that, you're becoming a learner. You're becoming a better investor. You're able to communicate what type of risks that you might want to take. And by being a saver, you're offsetting some of those risks because you don't need it.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time, but it's kind of like a train getting started. Once it gets moving, you start having money compound, and compounding money is like the eighth wonder of the world. I mean, it just starts happening. And so you start building wealth. You start learning about risk management and how to control your risk, how to prepare for what could be coming ahead. And this doesn't have to happen with just stocks or investments. You could do this with mini storage units or whatever it is that you really want to learn about and participate in and invest in. But this is a great way to build wealth. And the beauty of it is you don't have to be born with awesome genetics. You don't have to dive into something that you really, just aren't that interested in. You don't have to chance it. You could do this all through a normal, regular job. This could allow you to do a normal, regular job that you just like. This could allow you to have a life and have some hobbies. And so this last one is the one that I just think is so intriguing because we can all participate in it. But it does take time. And if you're running out of time, it would be a good time to give us a call and talk about that. Everybody wants your money. I mean, there are so many ways to get your attention about money that are out there. And the big financial services firm, they know it best. I mean, they even know what colors to use in their marketing schemes to just get your attention a little bit longer. But main thing here, I just wanted to encourage everybody to stay focused. If you have one of these that you're doing, we want to encourage you to do it really well. If you have the plumbing business, if you have the restorations business, that is just super exciting, and we want to help you. We want to help you think long term about that. But Caleb, anything else come to mind with building wealth?
I don't think so. I mean, you said live between or within your means, which I think is a big thing. And I don't know how well people do that these days. But I don't know if my dad told me this quote, and part of that is just the saving process, and it's $1 saved is $1 earned. Yeah. But that's partially true because $1 saved is probably a little bit better because it's already taxed. You don't have taxes. You can invest that. But I think that's a big thing to just get started, is being able to save money and not having all those overhead expenses. At least at my age is a huge thing, not having a ton of expenses, and can try to just get started and save.
Yeah, that's a good point. And as life gets a little more complex with kids or with aging parents or whatever it is you're going through, the dollar amounts can change to what you save and can invest. And, for a lot of people who are in their late 50s, kids might be out of the house. House is either paid off or nearly paid off, and cars are good. And all of a sudden you're in this phase where you've got a significant amount of savings that you can start investing. Whereas when you're starting out, you really don't, but you don't have a lot of expenses. And so you can change that rate, that you can change your savings rate over time. And that gives you just a different way to think about your capital and how you might use it. So $1 saved is $1 earned. Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's the same.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week, and we can't wait to see you. So have a great weekend.
Take care.